Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, September the 26th. We're almost done with the month of September. We're here to look at the new releases that have been published this week and this week only as best as possible. And we look at them genre by genre. There are different days for different genres. Mondays are cozy mysteries. Tuesdays are mysteries and thrillers, so the grittier side. Wednesdays is romance. Thursday is fantasy and science fiction. Tomorrow, Friday, is Freeform Friday. And we typically look at the stuff that we didn't get to earlier in the week. And it's usually a lot of cozy mysteries because there's always a lot of those. September is also coming to an end of the Spy versus Spy readathon that I host. There are no prompts. There is no having to check in or anything like that. It is just trying to shine a spotlight on the spy, espionage, counter espionage kinds of books because I think they're a fun subgenre. Alrighty, quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings for 2.5 hours, and then Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, and that one goes for 5 hours. You get a total of 10 hours each week of time carved out for you, for reading, for self-care, for being creative, whatever it is that is making you to be a happy you. All right, we are looking at fantasy and science fiction. First up, a new one by Sherilyn Kenyon. This is called House of Fire and Magic, first in a new set. Don't know if it's a trilogy or a series. The trilogy, we'll call it, is called The Myths and Outlaws. Unicorns and dragons never mix. For centuries, they've been bitter enemies and their kingdoms at war, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Tanis's beloved older brother and heir to their throne has been slain by a human who continues to flaunt her brother's death. To restore her family's honor, she's willing to make a deal with a unicorn shapeshifter so that she can infiltrate the human world and recapture what was so cruelly taken. But Dash Coeur de Noir isn't just any unicorn. As the High King, he's the most hated and feared of his breed, and he's on his own mission when the dragon, Tanis, crosses his path to reclaim his sister's horn that was brutally taken. In the wrong hands, that horn could destroy the fragile peace that has kept the 13 kingdoms from destroying each other. In a world built on magic, blah, blah, blah. With a bounty on their heads and assassins and enemies out to claim them both, they must somehow learn to trust each other or watch their kingdoms burn. That is an interesting coupling, shall we say. Unique. Don't think it's been done before. That's probably the point. Cat Rambo has a new one. Rumor has it, third in the disco space opera. The crew of the You Sexy Thing have laid a course for Corlin Station, hoping the station's famed gardens will provide an opportunity to regroup, recoup, and mourn their losses, while finding a way to track down their enemy, Pirate King Tubal Last. All Nico wants to do is pry their insurance money from the bank and see if an old friend might be able to help them find Last. Unfortunately, old friends and enemies aren't the only unreliable elements awaiting her crew and the crew of Corland. Each will have to face themselves, the good and the bad, in order to come together before they lose everything. The Naming Song by Jedediah Barry. There's nothing more dangerous than an unnamed thing. When the words went away, the world changed. All meaning was lost and every border fell. Monsters slipped from dreams to haunt the waking while ghosts wandered the land in futile reveries. Only with the rise of the committees of the named maps, ghosts, dreams, and names could the people stand against the terrors of the nameless wilds. They built borders around their world and within their minds, shackled ghosts and hunted monsters, and went to war against the unknown. For one unnamed courier of the Names Committee, the task of delivering new words preserves her place in a world that fears her. But after a series of monstrous attacks on the named, she is forced to flee her committee and seek her long lost sister. Accompanied by a patchwork ghost, a fretful monster, and a nameless animal who prowls the shadows, her search for the truth of her past opens the door to a revolutionary future, for the words she carries will reshape the world. That's very high concept. This next one, I know a lot of fantasy readers were looking forward to. Sixth in the Plated Prisoners series, this is called Goldfinch by Raven Kennedy. This is the finale. If there is ever a choice between her or the world, it's going to be her. One king caged my body, another has caged my mind. War has broken out, though that's not the only battle being waged. There's a fight inside me, and it's one I'm determined to win, no matter how hard they try to erase me, because they've forgotten one thing, the ancient magic of the pair bond. Slade and I are connected by more than just fated magic, and we will always find each other in any life. The Stone King is trying to destroy me, but what he hasn't realized is this: gold bends, but stone breaks, and a goldfinch does not fall. It flies. All right. End of row one. Heather Graham has a new one. Legacy of Blood, third in the Blackbird Files. When Special Agent Jeanette Lafarge is called in to investigate a vineyard in the Reims region of France, the last thing she expects to find is multiple bodies with every vein bled dry. It's yet another case tailor-made for the Blackbird. Joining her is recent recruit Detective Daniel Murray, eager to use his newfound abilities to track down whoever is terrorizing Paris and its surrounding areas. With each ashen victim grows the realization that those responsible aren't inspired by vampiric creatures of the night, but by Elizabeth Bathory herself. The Hungarian noblewoman's unspeakable crimes against her people are being reenacted in both the City of Lights and across the French countryside. Unless the two of them act quickly, the upcoming harvest promises to yield blood instead of wine. I would prefer wine. Thank you. Michael Mamet has a new one, fourth in the Planet Side series. I think I read the first one of this. Colonel Butler has paid his dues and just wants to enjoy his retirement on a remote planet. But the galaxy has had other plans. He has been roped into searching for a politician's missing son and an industry magnate's missing daughter. He has been kidnapped, violated numerous walls, and caused the destruction of colonial facilities. He's famous, or infamous depending on who you ask, praised and reviled in equal measure across the galaxy for his exploits. And he's determined to never let the government drag him into another investigation. But when a runaway 12-year-old girl whose father has gone missing asks him for help, well, it's a lot harder to say no. The girl's father, Jorge Ramiro, has supposed to have been on Tog, a moon orbiting the gas giant Rydia 5, working on a dig with a famous archaeologist, but now there's no sign of him and no record of him being there. Mining operations on the moon are run by two different consortiums, Caliber and Omicron, both of which have tried to kill Butler in the past. Butler doesn't believe in coincidence. Landing on Tog with his right-hand man, Mac, computer genius Ganos, and an elite security squad, Butler soon finds that they've charged back into the crosshairs, because Ramiro is not the only one who has disappeared, and the perpetual dark side of this moon is hiding more than the truth about a missing archaeologist. Space Oddity 2 by Catherine M. Valente, second in the space opera series. The Metagalactic Grand Prix, part gladiatorial contest, part beauty pageant, part concert extravaganza, and part continuation of the wars of the past returns, and the fate of the Earth is once again threatened. The civilizations opposed to humanity have been plotting and wanting to take down the upstarts. Can humanity rise again in this sequel to the beloved first book? Superstition by James Blakey, first in the Secrets of Van Buren University. Sophomore Jerry Williams' hard hitting reporting has won awards for Van Buren's school newspaper, but when he connects a series of campus deaths to bad luck, his editor questions Jerry's judgment, kills the story, and suspends him from the paper. But the superstition related havoc continues, and Darla, Jerry's new girlfriend, barely escapes with her life. When Jerry digs deeper into the mystery and publishes his findings in the school's alternative newspaper, the university administration threatens him with suspension for causing a panic. But Jerry's reporting instincts won't let him stop. With his friends and everyone else on campus at risk, it's not like Jerry has much of a choice. As Friday the 13th approaches, Jerry fears a catastrophe. He must uncover who or what is behind these bad luck deaths and determine how to stop it. End of row 2. The Sapling Cage by Margaret Killjoy. First in the Daughters of the Empty Throne. Laurel has always dreamed of becoming a witch, learning magic, fighting monsters, and exploring the world beyond the small town where she and her mother run the stables. Even though a strange plague of killing the trees in the kingdom of Sikan and witches are being blamed for it, Laurel wants nothing more than to join them. There's only one problem. All witches are women, and she was born a boy. When the coven comes to claim her best friend, Laurel disguises herself in a dress and joins in her friend's place, leaving home and her old self behind. She soon discovers the dark powers threatening the kingdom. A magical blight scars the land, and the power-mad Duchess Helt is crushing everything between her and the crown. In spite of these dangers, Laurel makes friends and begins learning magic from the powerful witches in her coven. However, she fears that her new friends and mentors will find out her secret and kick her out of the coven or worse. The Armageddon Protocol, fourth in the Galactic Cold War series by Dan Morin. I have this first one on my TBR. On the heels of the terrorist attack on the planet Nova's capital, the Special Projects team finds itself targeted by the ambitious new head of the Commonwealth Intelligence Directorate, Aidan Kester. When Kovalik and General Adaj are arrested on charges of treason, Tapper, Brody, Sayers, and Taylor are forced to go on the run, while Kovalik and the general attempt to uncover an Illyrian mole within the Commonwealth's intelligence apparatus. It's up to the rest of the team to clear their friends' names, even if that means making a deal with an old enemy to carry out a daring heist that might just get them all killed. I look forward to this series. That just sounds right up my alley. Trying to work it in is the hard part. Fangs So Bright and Deadly by Piper J. Drake, second in the Myth Woven series. Marie Zhao lives a double life, moonlighting as a freelance consultant in corporate Seattle, even as she dedicates herself and her powers as a witch to chasing down objects of myth and magic before they can be used to harm humankind. She carefully guards the bridges between worlds and has never once been tempted to stray, until she catches the eye of a pair-bonded Kitsune and Gumiho, and her whole world is thrown into chaos. Japanese and Korean fox spirits Yamamoto Kuro and Joseph Cho have been hoping to cross paths with Marie since their first chance meeting and an artifact retrieval gone decidedly wrong. They may work for Marie's enemy, but they don't see any reason why they can't mingle a little work and play, especially when a literal dead man waltzes into their impromptu reunion, raising intriguing questions about a deeper magic that may be afoot. Temporarily teaming up, the trio investigate the unusual unrest, but as loyalties begin to shift and lines blur, Kuro, Joe, and Marie may find themselves at the precipice of something none of them are prepared to face or deny. The 13th Child by Aaron A. Craig. That is a beautiful cover. Hazel Trebus has always known she wasn't like the rest of her siblings. A 13th child, promised away to one of the gods, she spends her childhood waiting for her godfather, Merrick the Dreaded End, to arrive. When he does, he lays out exactly how he's planned Hazel's future. She will become a great healer, known throughout the kingdom for her precision and skill. To aid her endeavors, Merrick blesses Hazel with a gift, the ability to instantly deduce the exact cure needed to treat the sick. But all gifts come with a price. Hazel can see when death has claimed a patient, when all hope is gone, and is tasked to end their suffering permanently. Haunted by the ghosts of those she's killed, Hazel longs to run, but destiny brings her to the royal court, where she meets Leo, a rakish prince with a disdain for everything and everyone. And it's where Hazel faces her biggest dilemma yet, to save the life of a king marked to die. Hazel knows what she is meant to do and knows what her heart is urging her toward, but what will happen if she goes against the will of death? So here's my question with that. The author here talks about it's her fate, and fate is, but she's taking fate into the hands by ending somebody who's dying and not letting them have their final moments. End of row 3. The Village Library Demon Hunting Society by C.M. Wagoner. Librarian Sherry Pinkwhistle keeps finding bodies and solving murders, but she's concerned by just how many killers she's had to track down in her quaint village. None of her neighbors seem surprised by the rising body count, but Sherry's becoming convinced that whatever has been causing these deaths is unnatural. When someone close to Sherry ends up dead and her cat, Lord Thomas Crowell, becomes possessed by what seems to be an ancient demon, Sherry, they okay. Sherry begins to think she's going to need to become an exorcist as well as an amateur sleuth. With the help of her town's new priest and an assortment of friends who dub themselves the Demon Hunting Society, Sherry will have to solve the murder and get rid of a demon. This is a mix of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Murder, She Wrote, it says. I never watched Buffy. That was after my era. A Tide of Black Steel by Anthony Ryan, first in Age of Wrath. The land of Ascarlia, a fabled realm of bloodied steel and epic sagas, has been ruled by the Sister Queens for centuries. No one has dared question their rule until now. Whispers speak of long ships of mysterious tattooed warriors sailing under the banners of a murderous cult of oathbreakers long thought extinct. A tide of black steel that threatens to vanquish all in its path. Thera of the Black Spear, favored servant of the Sister Queens, is ordered to uncover the truth. As Thera sails north, her reviled brother Felner sets out on his own adventure. He hopes to find the vault of the Altvar, the treasure room of the gods, and win the Sister Queen's favor at his sister's expense. Both siblings, along with a brilliant young scribe and a prisoner with a terrifying primal power, will play a part in the coming storm. The Age of Wrath has begun. Enveloping Shadows by Lauren D. M. Smith. A fierce and beautiful warrior, a powerful man of secrets and shadows, only together can they stop the awakening horror. Rumors of monsters and dark magic are circulating through the court, but Terwin is little concerned. Her immaculate sword skills are all she needs to protect the Princess Arisha, and as chief bodyguard, the princess's safety is Terwin's only mission. Yet she realizes her mistake a little too late. A stranger cloaked in darkness snatches the princess before Terwin can react. When a handsome stranger emerges from the shadows to save her life, Terwin has little choice but to allow him to accompany her. Zelik, shrouded in secrecy and on a mission of his own, has special skills that Terran needs. Together, the warrior and the shadow whisperer forge a plan to rescue the princess, only to find themselves plummeting not only headlong into evil, but into the into there and it stops and it's previously published. Dang it. It snuck in. Sorry about that, guys. Craving of the Sands by, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Grimm. By author Grimm. The Ice Stone is the latest gnomish gizmo taking Tyringer by storm. As a modified version of a communication stone, the Ice Stone allows people to share what they think and do with everyone else. The wizard Wilhelm Grindtosser accidentally rises to fame when his magic goes awry and all of Tyringer can see it. However, the Ice Stone comes with rather inconvenient side effects: spontaneous combustion, ominous shadows, and a tendency to dramatically whisper at inopportune moments. Teaming up with his unruly and unpredictable friends, Wilhelm races against time to uncover the dark truth behind the Ice Stone. Their quest pits them against an old nemesis whose diabolical plan could annihilate the world. Just when there's a new restaurant in town they'd really like to visit. Always happens. End of row 4. The Fate of Our Union by Hildebrand Hermanson, first in the Fate series. A mountainous thundering bull breaks up battling tribesmen, summoning 3 struggling youths as an insidious unseen enemy turns tribes against tribes, pitting rich against poor, sons against fathers, and men against gods. Its insatiable hunger for division threatens to plunge mankind into a dystopian realm ruled by man-eating wolves. A miraculous 7-headed horse, a symbol of unity, soars from the east, assembling the 3 youths from disparate lands into a journey of self-discovery. There, Sunu the Saxon, Rufus the Roman, and Kurisapaspa the Samaritan must overcome pride, aversion, and unforgiveness. There they must learn from historical heroes, philosophers, and the gods that strengthen them to battle the unseen monster and its rising wolfmen. Fated to part ways to face the demons at home, Sunu, Rufus, and Karasaspa must reunite as they bring divided peoples together to fight the source tearing everyone apart. They must heed the divine wisdom of the 7-headed horse and justly wield the 7 magic weapons they've mysteriously been given to overcome the unseen enemy and understand the higher purpose of the mountainous thundering bull. Holy moly. That is the end of our time, and that is the end of the books. We had good timing. All righty. That is it. Hope you guys have a good Thursday. Again, I do have sprints tonight. Ooh, it gotten dimmer there. I hope you have. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. I get here as quickly as I can. These days, it's even a little bit more difficult. There's road construction between here and work, which causes much frustration and slowage of traffic. So I will do my best to get here. I do try to start early, but these days are challenging. So again, I hope you guys have a good day. Hope to see you tonight. Hope to see you tomorrow. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.